For nearly a decade, one question has refused to disappear from the Outlander fandom, no matter how many times it has been addressed, denied, or explained. It's not about the storyline, not about the time travel, and not even about the historical drama that defines the series. It's about something far more personal, the connection between Heughan and Caitríona Balfe. From the very first season, viewers noticed that their on-screen chemistry felt different. It wasn't just convincing, it was almost unsettling in how real it seemed. The way they looked at each other, the emotional intensity of their scenes, even the quiet moments where nothing was said, all of it created a sense that what audiences were watching might be more than just acting. And once that idea entered the conversation, it never really left. As the show gained popularity, so did the speculation. Fans began analyzing interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and public appearances, searching for signs that the connection extended beyond the screen. Small details started to take on greater meaning. A shared glance during a panel, a laugh that felt too natural, a moment where one seemed to instinctively understand the other. All of these became pieces of a much larger puzzle. At first, it was harmless curiosity. But over time, it grew into something more persistent. Online forums filled with discussions breaking down specific moments frame by frame. Social media accounts dedicated entire threads to comparing interactions across different years, looking for patterns that might suggest something deeper. What began as admiration for their chemistry slowly transformed into a long-running mystery. And what made that mystery so powerful was how consistently it was fueled by new moments. Every new interview, every public appearance, every behind-the-scenes clip added another layer. Sometimes it was something subtle, like the way Caitríona reacted to Sam's jokes, or how Sam seemed to anticipate her responses during conversations. Other times, it was the way they spoke about each other, always with respect, often with warmth, but never with complete clarity. Their answers were always careful. Whenever asked directly about their relationship, both Sam and Caitríona maintained the same narrative. They described each other as close friends, trusted collaborators, and partners in bringing Jamie and Claire to life. They emphasized professionalism, mutual respect, and the importance of creating a safe environment for emotionally intense scenes. And on the surface, those answers made perfect sense. Actors who work together for years naturally develop strong bonds. Long filming schedules, demanding scenes, and shared experiences can create a level of connection that feels almost like family. In that context, their chemistry could easily be explained without needing to assume anything more. But for many fans, that explanation never felt complete. Because what they were seeing didn't feel like something that could be easily defined. It wasn't just about how well they performed together, but how effortlessly they seemed to exist in the same emotional space. The transitions between scripted dialogue and unscripted interaction often felt seamless, as if the boundary between character and actor was thinner than usual. That ambiguity is what kept the rumors alive. Over the years, certain moments became almost legendary within the fandom. Clips of interviews where their answers overlapped, scenes where their reactions felt unscripted, and instances where their body language seemed unusually in sync were shared repeatedly. Each time, they were re-examined with the same question in mind. Was this just exceptional acting, or something more? At the same time, the lack of definitive answers only made the speculation stronger. Neither Sam nor Caitríona ever confirmed anything beyond friendship, but they also rarely addressed the rumors in a way that completely shut them down. Their responses remained balanced, avoiding extremes, which left just enough room for interpretation. That space, between confirmation and denial, became where the rumors lived. And then there was the passage of time. Unlike short-term projects where co-stars move on quickly, Outlander kept them working together year after year. That longevity allowed fans to observe the dynamic evolving in real time. What might have been dismissed as early chemistry began to feel like something more established, more layered, and harder to define. Each new season didn't just continue the story on screen. It continued the story in the minds of the audience. Because the more people watched, the more they felt like they were seeing something that couldn't be fully explained by scripts or direction alone. And whether that perception was accurate or not almost didn't matter anymore. What mattered was that it felt real enough to believe. And that belief, built slowly over years of shared moments and unanswered questions, is what turned a simple co-star dynamic into one of the most talked about mysteries in modern television fandom. As the rumors continued to grow, what once felt like simple fan curiosity gradually turned into something much more complex. The conversation was no longer just about whether Heughan and Caitríona Balfe shared chemistry. It became about trying to separate perception from reality, and understanding why that line felt so difficult to define. On one side, many fans began stepping back and looking at the situation more objectively. They pointed out that what people were seeing could be explained by something far less mysterious. Acting, especially at the level required for a show like Outlander, demands emotional honesty. In order to portray a relationship as intense as Jamie and Claire's, both actors have to fully immerse themselves in those emotions. That level of commitment can easily create the illusion of something real. And sometimes, that illusion is the goal. Directors, writers, and actors all work together to build a connection that feels authentic to the audience. When it works, it can be so convincing that viewers forget they are watching a performance. In that sense, the chemistry between Sam and Caitríona may simply be a reflection of their skill and experience as actors. But not everyone was ready to accept that explanation completely. Another group of fans continued to believe that there was something deeper behind what they had seen over the years. For them, it wasn't just about the scenes in the show. It was about the moments outside of it, the interviews, the unscripted interactions, the subtle details that didn't feel rehearsed. They argued that while acting can explain a lot, it doesn't always explain everything. What made this debate so persistent was the fact that both perspectives had some level of truth to them. Yes, the actors are highly trained professionals capable of creating believable relationships. But at the same time, spending years working closely together can naturally lead to a bond that goes beyond surface-level interaction. That bond doesn't have to be romantic to feel meaningful. In fact, it can exist in a space that is difficult to define, somewhere between friendship, trust, and emotional familiarity. And for audiences watching from the outside, that kind of connection can easily be interpreted in different ways depending on what they expect or want to see. There is also another important factor that shaped the conversation. Caitríona Balfe has always maintained clear boundaries when it comes to her personal life. She has openly spoken about her marriage and her decision to keep that part of her life separate from her public image. That reality provides a strong anchor against many of the more dramatic theories. Yet even that hasn't completely ended the speculation. Because the emotional impact of what people see on screen continues to influence how they interpret everything else. When a connection feels real enough, it can be difficult to fully accept that it exists only within the context of a performance. And that is where the true answer may lie. Not in proving whether the rumors are true or false, but in understanding why they exist at all. Heughan and Caitríona Balfe have created something that resonates deeply with audiences, a connection that feels authentic, layered, and emotionally convincing. Whether that connection is purely professional or something more personal may never be fully confirmed. But perhaps that uncertainty is part of what makes it so compelling. Because in the end, the most powerful stories are often the ones that leave just enough unanswered to keep people wondering what might be real. Not in proving whether the rumors are true or false, but in understanding why they exist at all. Heughan and Caitríona Balfe have created something that resonates deeply with audiences, a connection that feels authentic, layered, and emotionally convincing.